We're here at Cultivar in Hawthorne. We're freezing our asses off because we are indeed Melburnians, but it's okay because we're about to step inside and show you how we shop for our personal produce. We like to shop at local fresh fruit and vegetable shops just like this one, and we're going to show you our best tips. So come with us as we jump inside. The first things that I like to put in my basket when heading inside the groceries is potatoes, or as I like to say in my household, potatoes. And that's simply because they're so damn heavy. So I like to fill my basket with potatoes. Now, one of my always common go-tos is the sweet potato. So per 100 grams of food weight, that is, you're looking at about 20 grams of actual carbs. So I really like to use sweet potatoes in both my personal plans and also my clients' plans, because I find it a great go-to carb, low GI, and also quite, you can load people up with it, so it's got a lot of volume. And it's also a very great potato for doing like different things. So you can do mashed potato, you can do chips, you can put it in the oven and bake it, you can eat it whole. So it has so many, you can steam it. It's got a lot of variety that you can use, and also herbs and spices and things like that. Has a lot of versatility in cooking as well. But that's not to be saying, also a sweet potato you can use with white potato and mix all the potatoes up and create kind of almost like a potato salad in a sense, but with different. But obviously my preferred favorite way of doing potatoes is to chop them all up, get a whole bunch of different potatoes, so white potato as well as sweet potato, and put them in the oven and bake them, and also put some butter over that. Absolutely fantastic. What about you, Liam? How do you like to do your potatoes?
Yeah, I definitely go for the roasting potatoes. I just find it much more easier to cook. For me, I'm quite busy with work and things like that, so I want to be able to put something in the oven, roast it for 45 to an hour, depending on the potato, pull it out and ready to go. While I'm doing that, I get my protein and my veg, and I do that by steaming and pan frying it, so it just works much better for me. My go-to potatoes would be probably the dessert potato. It's a very cheap potato and it roasts very, very well. Same with the Dutch creams, but you can do a lot of other things with them. The washed potatoes, me personally, I don't eat a lot. I find the dessert much better for roasting, and that's what I use for.
So if I've got a fat loss client, predominantly most of the time I'm using the sweet potato or pumpkin. If I've got a client who's quite lean and single digit body fat percentage, I'm looking at my white potato and using more white potato, especially post-workout, pre-workout, to make sure, because they can tolerate their carbs better. So yeah, this is your better if you're fat loss. If you're body composition and you're lean enough, then heading towards the white potato. Another good thing that I like to do as well, if the client is lean enough, is putting maple syrup in their post-workout carbs as well. Is also a great way to jack up calories and jack up carbs. So while we're on the topic of carbs, Liam, I thought we'd better grab some rices. I know my two personal favorite rices are red rice and black rice. Now, calorie-wise, you're looking at about the same with your red, black, and white rice, for example, and brown rice, that is. However, I always instruct people to why not get the most amount of nutrients you can from your rices. Makes sense to me, right? So I know with muscle testing, red rice is something that I've tested a lot of my clients on, and they all test phenomenally well. My friend Bob Buell actually said to me a while back that red yeast rice is a compound that they've actually extracted and used in some formulations in both supplements and medications. So the reason for red rice, not to say that this is going to cure and does the same thing, but the reason why I bring that up is because there's a lot of B vitamins in your red rice, and there's a lot more nutrients in red rice per calorie. What about you, Liam? What are your favorites?
Yeah, my go-tos are red and black rice, 100%, only because of that reason, and I find they're much lighter on the body as well. So I don't feel, sometimes when I have, say, jasmine rice, which holds a lot of water, I can feel a little bit
more fluidy.
I know that's how I feel. I'm about to train. So, and as Mark said before, where potato post-workout is great because it comes in a larger volume, rice pre-workout can be great as well, because for the same amount of a 50 gram served macro weight of carbs, it's going to be a lot less food volume than, say, 400 grams of white potato.
That's a really good point. If we've got, say, a competitor and we're trying to bring up their food volume, we can do that. It's very hard to do with potato, whereas you can do that. So if you're looking to build mass and build muscle, rice is a great go-to food. I also really like the black rice more from a flavor perspective. It does have its own unique profile of vitamins, minerals in there as well, but more from a taste perspective, it's a little bit stickier. So if you're doing anything like homemade sushis or things like this, even like as a dessert, you can almost put like maple syrup on it and have it almost as a dessert rice. I find the black rice definitely a good go-to. For me personally, white rice and basmati rice, my stomach stomach doesn't agree with that, but red rice and black rice, absolutely beautiful every day of the week.
I've got some white rice here. Now there are a couple of different white rices. Probably the most popular one that I use would be basmati with my competitors. I find it doesn't bring up as much volume as the other rices, and it's really good for energy levels. It is mid to high compared to say brown rice. And again, I'd probably have brown rice towards the end of the night because it is slightly slower release, lower GI.
In summary, white rice we're really looking at more for people who are lean enough, but even still, even for the guys and girls who are quite lean, a lot of the time we're still recommending the red or the black rice. But there are occasions where people do tolerate white rice and will use it as part of their plan or potato. No, for me personally, I don't really tolerate it that well. I get quite fluidy when I have it. It just kind of sits in my stomach. So I always move to the red rice or the black rice in that example. Do you have any clients who are using white rice at the moment?
Not to start with. Usually I always start with black and red, and I build them up to white rice as they get leaner. I find that I always get really good results with fat loss when using, say, black or red rice.
Thanks for tuning in to part 1, potato and rice. Do stay tuned for more very, very soon, as well as our Bro to Pro series, where I take my bro, Liam, through a bunch of different exercises in a kind of hilarious and lighthearted way. To stay up to date with us at Enterprise, check out our Facebook page and our Instagram, as well as our main website where we post all of our blog content at www.melbournepersonaltrainers.com. Till you hear from me next week, train hard, supplement smart, and eat well.